for his job, he needed to take product photos, so they ordered him a camera. And then I was just messing around, like a Rebel, Canon Rebel. And so I was just messing around with it, with our family and everything, taking photos. And then one of our friends from college was getting married, and she was like, Bri, I want you to take my wedding photos. And I was like, I haven't done this before. I haven't done a wedding. And she's like, no, it's fine. You're a perfectionist. It'll be fine. I'm like, sure. Okay. So basically, after like a ton of research and really preparing myself and reading and practicing and getting all that stuff in gear, went to that wedding and then just walked out thinking like, I love this. Like, this is amazing. This is what I want to do.
As soon as she came out, that was like what she was meant to be doing. Yeah, it was like one of those light bulb moments. So
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I think 2 years in, I convinced him to come with me because I was like, listen.
You had second shooters before.
We did have second shooters. I always had a second shooter. But I think during engagement sessions, it was kind of another light bulb moment because previously it had just been me and a second shooter that was a female. But then when we went together, we realized the guys opened up so much easier and they relaxed really quickly. And that made a huge difference in the photos because I didn't have to spend a ton of time like getting them to that point. I don't miss having to find second shooters.
Whenever we're trying to like pose someone, we can just kind of do the pose ourselves.
Then we also show them exactly what it is.
Do a slow kiss, and then we get to do it too. So it works out.
In the beginning, I mean, still most of our work comes through referrals, through word of mouth. We just had a wedding this past weekend in Chicago where they booked us almost 2 years ago. So we've known them for a while. But we love that because then when we show up on their wedding day, most of the time we feel like family. We walk in and we're greeted like friends and their families know about us. Like they know who we are, and so they right off the bat are using our first names. And that's why we take on just a select number of weddings per year, because just being able to pour myself and ourselves into each couple is super important for us. And I just can't imagine doing that for like 35, 40 weddings a year.
Let's talk about Tuesdays together.
Yeah.
How has that affected your relationships? How's that affected your experience in the industry?
Oh my gosh, that was like a life changer. So when we moved to Jacksonville 4 years ago, I was just trying to get to know a few people, and then when the Rising Tide started, I remember when they launched their Facebook group, and I was like one of the first 100 people in that group, and now it's like thousands and thousands of people. So I remember like day one when they launched that, and I was like, oh my goodness, we need this in Jacksonville. So I went and applied, and actually Megan had applied before me, and I didn't know that. So Megan got it started, and I was so thankful, and I'm actually glad that she was the leader in the beginning, because it may not seem like it, but I'm a very big introvert, and it takes a lot of effort to go out and meet people. And also she already knew people in the industry, so I feel like she really helped get it started and to invite people. And so when that started, I remember, again, introverted self, I forced myself to go to a meeting, and you didn't come with me yet because
no, I stayed home and played video games. Like, in complete honesty. It worked out well because we're both graphic designers, so we had that kind of eye for design and composition and all that kind of stuff. So.
I just had to teach them the technical things, which is the easiest thing to learn. Yeah. When you figure out what you want to do, it's kind of like, oh my gosh, this makes sense for me.
So to say to someone, just jump in and do it, you kind of have to say that, but at the same time, it's a scary thing.
It is scary, but I think it's so worth it.
One thing we've touched on with some of the meetings of going to the Tuesdays together is that once you find something that you're good at, stick to it. Try a bunch of stuff, find what you're good at, and stick to mainly that thing. So for us, that was wedding photography, whereas she was trying some stuff with families and things like that, but
it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not. Focus all your time and energy
into one thing.
area.
Make yourself an expert in one area.